Resume. So yeah, I'm taking you through how to look at these charts, right? What to areas that seem as a reversal point, right? So first off, right, was this is 4 hours, right? So first, this area on its own is already this area. See, look at this chart here. Let it make sense. Like this is the building block of all of this. Um, let me go to another chart so that we can work with it. I don't know this. Let me see. Uh-huh. Restore. And it should be good, right? TVC. No, I'm coming. Yes. Let me work with under. That one is too messed up, right? That's why I shifted to something else. Mm, okay. So back to 4 hours. Right. So now we had a high here, right? Where the market started selling from this area. Then the first reversal point was this zone. The first reversal point was this zone, right? If you look here, if you look here, this is like what's it called? A resistance that was broken, then in turn respected, right? So this was actually a very good reversal point, right? And also using the sometimes you don't really know, but you have those areas and sites. Then what you now wait for are or is when you get a bullish confirmation, right? So let me say I marked out this zone. That's okay. I'm expecting the market to buy from this very point, right? I expect the market to buy from this very point, right? Or did I see it? This is like a clear resistance. The zone was broken and it came back in. There's still, you can see there are nice imbalances around here. Then the question is, why would it reverse from here? Or how can I tell that, okay, the market has started reversing from a particular zone? The best thing I can do is going down to a lower time frame, right? This is the 4 hours, yeah? Let me say, I go down to like 15. I go down to 15. This is what exactly happened on the 15 minutes, right? Market sold, right? It's clear, right? You can see the downtrend is very clear. When can I tell that this trend has shifted? When this high here was taken out, it switched from a downtrend to an uptrend. This is when I can now mark this zone as my swing low from my 4 hour time frame. All right. That's when I can now mark that's when I can now mark this area as my swing low. Now, when I now know that this area is my swing low, next thing is to use my Fibonacci to know where the market is likely to retrace to, where it is likely to pull back to for the sell to continue. That's just it, right? The next thing is you can do this on any chart, whether gold, whether any pair, basically. The most important thing is to just to understand the flow. Make sure the flow is in your head, right? Not see, yeah, you can be on a trade and get and question everything you're doing, right? Like I think I told Rich last week, yeah. Once you've done your once you've done your analysis, take a screenshot. I have loads of screenshots of my charts after my analysis, so that if I start getting confused, I look at it. But I am human. Sometimes I question even more than anything, right? But I'm going to take you through that. So now we've gotten this low. What's the next thing? We use our Fibonacci, right? This is the highest point. I I trace it to the lowest point. So where is my entry zone? My entry zone is anywhere above 4114, right? Anywhere above 4114, right? Now I got this area. First of all, right? First of all, um, I had actually after this move here, right? I did I did an analysis here, buying from 4057 to this area, right? So now I already have, you can see what I have here is 4135.8, right? This is like the golden zone. So any point from here and above is a good entry for a reversal, right? Now, how can I also tell that I've gotten to my entry, right? Yes, I'm just taking you through what happened. This move actually happened on Thursday last week. Even this move started on Thursday as well, right? But we are together. Just give me a moment. Remember this area? I think, should I mark it out? Let me mark it out so that you just mark it out. I'm gonna, I'll need just for reference purposes, just for reference purposes, then I delete, right? Back to 15 minutes. Remember, this was when we confirmed that this market was bullish, right? If I decide to do the same thing I did here to get a good entry point, I plot the same thing, right? From this low, this Fibonacci, right? From this low to this high. What happened? The market touched the 50%, started buying. That's your entry. Buy like long. In fact, this second move here is your confirmation. This higher low or this higher leg is your confirmation entry. Enter at this point and move, right? Now, why did I choose? I'm showing you some things like also, Richie, like remember I told you, yeah, before you see the strongest moves, right? Before you see the strongest moves, the former high you are looking at most times are swept, right? The former high you are looking at most times are swept, right? So look at this area. Now I'm seeing a double top here, and above the double top is an area of interest. First, let me clear this. I'm seeing a double top on the 15 minutes time frame. 15 minutes is my entry for these long range trades here, right? I'm seeing a double top, right? And right, I just normally, you know that there's no how the market will leave the liquidity line above here and start selling, right? This was what attracted me to this zone. My TP, right, from this long I took down here from 5.7 was 4.133, right? 4.133, that's like very close to this point. My entry was 4.134, just one point above this area, right? What did the market do? The market came up here, respected 4.134, and played around and started moving, right? So this is just how to get entry models. In fact, for later this week, there's another approach I'll show us, right? It's also help you in getting whether you want a long-term trade, short-term trade. It's an approach I actually learned, right? Actually learned, and it's making sense. So, and it's gonna help, right? This particular entry model of having the former high swept is what I actually um I've seen the effects like so much lately, and it's been paying off, right? So imagine this was Thursday. The markets hit. Okay, market actually hit the entry by New York Open, played around, closed closed around here. Yeah, it has not made much move yet. By Friday, see the same thing I told you. Before the market makes a strong move, You can see how this was the highest point on Friday. Like the market opened, gave this high, sold aggressively, came back to sweep that same high by 4 a.m. That's when the main move started, right? Of course, he sold. Trump news gave this liquidation, right? Then this was a mad reaction at a very good point. Look at this. This is a very good area that the market rejected from. So if I was trading a short-term trade, right? This is a very good TP. Just take my TP here and I'm done, right? But then this was how the market ended on Friday. So if you ask me what was my problem was why would a strong sell I'm expecting end with this strong bullish candle? That was my fear, right? So I started making crazy research that weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, like because I wouldn't want a gap up because I know gold. If gold gaps up, though I had a healthy SL, my SL was like at 4148, right? So if good gaps up, it's taking me out, right? Just let me see if I can get to the 4 hours time frame. You can exactly see how this candle actually ended, right? So this is imagine you're on a strong sell and the last candle is pointing up like this. This is crazy, right? So it's made me restless. Yeah, it's made me restless. Though I trusted my analysis, but then market can still do what it does, right? So went through several analysis, several blog posts, even AI Brooks. I don't know if you know him. One of these, all these old Asian traders, yeah. I read his blog posts, something that gave me hope was that on the weekly time frame, right? On the weekly time frame, gold is squeezing within on the weekly time frame, there is a squeeze, right? There is a there is a squeeze on the weekly time frame. If I draw this was okay, this was Friday. Right. Okay, this is a new week. This was last week, right? First of all, it was a bearish week, right? It was a bearish week, closing like almost half of the candle, right? So there was need for it to still drop down before. I don't know if I draw this. What I saw that day was something like I don't know how to explain it. What I know was that there was still need for the market to drop. But I was still skeptical, right? So what happened? This is why I say if it can affect me, it can affect anyone, right? We are all still learning the market, right? So by the time the market opened, it gave this amazing gap, right? Let me go back to 15 minutes. Market opened on Sunday, right? Gave this nice gap. I was like, wow, amazing, 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 amazing. I saw a pullback. So this pullback, I was thinking that, oh, it's about to cover this gap. Somehow, the fear was still there. Boom. I had two TPs, one at 55 and second at 22. Right, I closed here. It came back down around here. I still closed. That's missing out. This actually made me miss out on the whole damn move, right? So my point, right, is once you see your analysis, once you trust it, at that very point you are doing analysis, trust it to the letter, right? Don't unless the market gives you a clear indication that I'm no longer going the way you expect me to go, then you can go out. Or something you can just leave it to take you out. Fine, right? You can just leave it to take you out. But if you trust it. What happened afterwards? Market went ahead. Like in fact, before this week opened, right? I was like, I expect gold at least between Monday and Tuesday to sweep Friday, Thursday, and Wednesday low. And what happened? This is the daily time frame. This was yesterday. This was yesterday, right? The market, this was yesterday candle, right? This is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. This is what I wanted the market to do, like for me yesterday. And guess what? It did that. Swept Friday at 73. Swept. This is where I had my significant TPs at these very lows. Swept Thursday at 55, right? Swept Wednesday at 22. Then tapped into a very good entry. In fact, I had a buy limit at 4009, but of course I was taking out, right? I was taking out. But also look at this. Yeah, I was taking out. I had an entry too. Look at this same thing. You can see this low. Ouch. This was yesterday's low, right? What did the market do? Swept the low and started going up. So if you have, like, I don't know, I don't know how to explain this to, so you can grab it very, very well. You see this thing that always happen, always like, I don't know, if you can always get an insight on all of this. Before I knew, right, before this move would happen, I know the market is going to buy. In fact, all I need to do today is just to sweep yesterday's high. That's all. And of course, make an attempt to cover the gap created this week. So of course, I don't know if he's going to do it today or tomorrow. I'm already on the trade, and so help me God, I'm not going to adjust anything. I'm going to leave it to run, right? But you can see this was the only confirmation I needed, right? When this move happened, this was the only confirmation I needed. I was on this trade. I have to adjust my SL to like 398 because I know this move would happen. It needs to happen. If it doesn't happen, then I'm skeptical, right? That it might not really push to the target I want before coming back down here, right? So on any time frame you're looking at, basically, on any time, in fact, Seth, um, there's still time here. Let me know if I can show you what I was talking about. I saw that very stuff yesterday, 30 minutes time frame. Monday, yeah. On a Monday before this dump, um I saw something 30 minutes. 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 minutes. This is Monday. Was he around here? Let me see. Um okay, I think he should be around. Okay, yeah, this is it. Is this it? Okay, yeah, okay, yeah, this should be it. Yeah, of course. This is the analysis I did. That's what we call, in the same rule of this having the low swept and the move happening. Now, look at this, right? Look at this very candle here. This very candle, this very candle. So this is an entry model. Yeah, you can test it out on your own. Just And the another important thing is the area you see it is very important, right? It's not just um it's not just anywhere, right? It's not just anywhere, right? It has to be around the support zone, resistance zone, whatever other block. Just know that it has to be very close to your area of interest, right? So this was when I was trying to buy a pullback before the sale happens, or before the sale happened, right? So my target was this 30 minutes candle. Right. 30 minutes candle. What happened? This was my entry, yeah? I saw this, the next candle swept below it and closed inside. Swept below. In fact, sometimes the best reaction is, having another week above. But let's just work with this one here. Perhaps I can still look for another entry. But this is what I actually traded yesterday, right? This was a buy move. This was a buy move. All right. Okay. So what happened? I saw this. This was the candle we are looking at here. So let's go down to a lower time frame to get our entry. Now, the ideal thing is once you see something like this, wait for a good entry, buy to the high of that very candle, and that's all. If it's a reverse, sell to the low of that very candle, and that's all. So if you have to take this trade, I saw it on the 30 minutes time frame. Let me go to 5 minutes because that's where I'm going to get my confirmation, right? I had to zero. Am I seeing right? No. This is not. Okay, yeah, I think it's the same thing. That was the time I took that trade. Or was I seeing something else? Let me see. Why now? That's the same thing now. It was by morning. Yeah, that's it. So 5 minutes. But hope is making sense. Let's not be as though I'm just talking to myself. Hope is making sense. And let me get a feedback. Hope is it making sense? Are you like grabbing something? Is it making
Yeah,
sense?
yeah,
All right.
yeah. I can understand what you're saying.
Okay, so this is that very moment, right? This is when it swept, right? This was when it swept down low. Then what happened? This high was taken. In fact, this will actually make sense on a lower time frame anyway, right? But the main thing is the target I'm looking at is this high, right? What happened? Uh, This could have been my entry. This could have been my entry, right? Either of these could have been my entry. What happened there? I saw a clear, this lows here we are taking out. This will actually make sense on the 1 minute time frame, but let's work with this. Yeah. These lows we are taking out. Yeah. These lows we are taking out. So this is a clear indication that, okay, this trend has shifted, right? It came in here and boom, I can enter just below the candle. But let's say I want to do a proper entry model. So this is a clear FVG. The FVG happened here. You, the FVG happened right here. What happened? You get in at the tip of that FVG, right? With your long, that's at the tip. Then of course your SL below the candle that formed the FVG. This low here. So you're risking for how many points? For 10 points. It's like almost one is to two basically. Right? See that? So this is, I don't know. Just look out for. Let me know if I can see another example of it so that if I let me check another let's say Euro USD. Let me see if I can see another. This is just something I've been seeing. Let's use 1 hour. Make an entry on 1 hour. Um okay. This is another one. But this is not so perfect. This is not so perfect. It's better that it sweeps the other candle. This is good, but not so perfect. You don't always say it, but once you do, you just bank on it. Coming. This person. Let's moving on. Okay. Okay, yeah, this one, this another one. This is it. 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 Yeah, see that? This is a resistance area. Yeah, and low key, you anticipate the market to sell. Just this is 1 hour time frame. And in a 1 hour time frame, a lot can happen on the 5 minutes, right? So you see that? This is your high. That's not a perfect side though, but you can manage it. This is the low. See. What can I even do this? No, I don't know, just this something, but well, the main thing is this happened and it closed within within. So what we're gonna do is to look for an entry to chase this low, right? So what we're gonna do, we'll go down to 15 minutes time frame. Okay, the sweep happened there. The 15 minutes time frame is too distant. Let's go down lower. So any time frame that you don't see what you're looking for, just kindly adjust. This that guy. Okay. If it's two, we go down to. All right, here we go. So the market did this. It's been buying, right? So this is our change of market structure shifts of which market structure. All those terminologies, I rarely use them, right? This is when the move happened, right? The shifts happened, right? There's an FPG right above here, right? This not really okay. This is the FBG right? This is the FBG right here. So this is where your entry is, right? This is where your entry is. The same thing, right? So in this case, in this particular case, where the entry is very close to the series of resistance, right? The best thing you're gonna do is to have at least an SL above this series of highs here, right? So you sell at this very point, have your SL just above, you can just keep it above here. Or normally you can just keep it above these highs here. All right. Then target the low of that very candle. Boom. Right. Looking at it, this is a bullish market, right? But due to that, it was a former resistance on the 1 hour time frame. We were able to sell. Right. So this gave us like how many points? The same 10 pips, right? Risking 3 point something for 10 pips. Yeah, you can see how amazing that is. Yeah, so just take out time, um, look out for areas like this. It's very dope, right? It's very dope. If you see it on a daily time frame, you have to do your breakdown on like a 15 minutes, get your entry then, all right, then tap out. So that's why sometimes if I have a target on a daily time frame and it's based on things we've seen, right? So I believe you got value from this session. And I talked about so many things and I don't know. I hope they make sense. Right. I hope they make sense. I hope they make sense. So well, anyways, that's it for today. We hope to let's see what the day has for us. We hope to get we hope the day goes well, right? So cheers and all the best family. Cheers and have an amazing day, right? Cheers and all the best. By tomorrow, yeah, I think we'll have questions, right? So questions tomorrow, I'll handle questions, right? So whatever it is, I would talk about it. Yeah, so Richie, get ready tomorrow. Let's handle the questions, okay?